So hey, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the December training on homepage evaluation. And we're going to take a look today at some samples of some homepages and talk to you about what the role of the homepage is and how we can evaluate homepages, how you can take a look at your own homepage and see if it has the materials and the information that it needs there. So let's talk, Ben, about the different roles that a homepage provides to the course. What's the purpose of the homepage?
Homepages. Why do we need a homepage? What is a homepage? It's more like a landing spot, a place to come home to, so that students know they are in the right place. And so what do we need for students to know that they're in the right place when they go to your course for the first time?
Yeah, so one of the things that we usually have on a homepage is some kind of identifying information, whether it's in the title, like welcome to this course, or sometimes a customized banner graphic with the name of the course, maybe a picture that lets you know what kind of the course content is, like a biology course or a woodworking course would have pictures of tools or wood products. So that kind of thing can immediately let the student feel assured that they found the right course, that they're in the right place. And that may seem kind of obvious, but there's a lot of value in that comfort level of just knowing that you found the right page and you're in the right place to get your stuff done.
Sure, and I think once you have that established, once you have your banner graphics or your identifier, then we need to hit with the quick hitting information and the important information that the student maybe needs on a daily basis. You know, what's your email, when's your office hour, what's your phone number, some of that basic information that they need on a daily or weekly basis.
Yeah, so this leads into one of the things that we wanted to talk about today, which is kind of the different needs that a homepage has depending on the modality of the course.
Sure.
So when we've put together our homepage checklist, which we'll be looking at a little bit later in the course design checklist, we have a section specifically on homepage requirements. And these requirements are the most rigorous requirements possible as far as what would be needed in a 100% online class. So you can imagine if a student has never met you as the instructor before, if they're not coming to class, it's not a hybrid model, or it's not a face-to-face class where you're just using Canvas to supplement what you're doing in class. If they're coming to this homepage, this is all the information that they've received about the course so far, except for what's in the course catalog. So they're coming to your homepage, and so really your homepage needs to have the same kind of information that you would give a student the first time you met them in your classroom, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, you know, in a classroom, you say, hi, I'm Tim McKean. This is this course. This is what this course is all about. If you can think about what that conversation sounds like in your class, or what that lecture or what that introduction sounds like in your face-to-face class, that's the role that the homepage needs to have for your online courses as well.
So I like how you talk about it needs to have the same information that first day of that face-to-face class. And so what do you get in that first day? You get the course syllabus, you get the course schedule, and that's generally what we want to put on our homepage for those fully online classes.
You get an idea about how the course is organized.
Sure, yeah.
So if there's going to be reading assignments and writing assignments, if there's going to be some lab activities, there's going to be some group work. If there's a pattern to the way the course is laid out, like we're going to always have lectures on Mondays and group work on Tuesdays, or if there's some patterns or if there's some organization pattern to the course, how is the course set up? How is it being delivered? That's kind of information you'd get on the first day as well.
Yeah, and the goal is to keep that homepage full of just necessary information, but also stuff you don't want to hide in the back of that syllabs, in the bottom of that syllabus.
All of that, and I've heard instructors tell me, well, all of this is in my syllabus, and that's good. It should be in your syllabus, but it's also information that you don't like. I like your phrase. You don't need to hide it. If it's important enough, then it's important enough to put it out in front of the students. And I think if you have a good enough homepage design that you can still have a lot of information there, or at least links to information there, without letting it get too complicated or letting it get too cluttered.
So what are the heavy hitters of information that they need? They need the syllabus. They need maybe a schedule.
Yeah.
They need course resources.
Yeah, so we have it on the screen here. We have our homepage template. This is a template that's available to everybody. If you go over to Canvas Commons and pull down our faculty resource kit. So you can see here that we've put all the things into the template that we think are important. In fact, if you move over a tab to our checklist, this is also available to you in the resource kit. And this is our course design checklist. And you can see just the top section we're talking about today is the course homepage kind of sub checklist. And so these are the things that you might want to consider and look for on your homepage. Do you have access to the syllabus? Do you have instructor contact information there? So here we have access to the syllabus at the top. We have instructor name. This would be a link to your course syllabus. Information about required materials, meeting time and location if those are applicable, if you're doing a hybrid or an on-ground class. Then we've also got instructor contact information, email, office hours. If you're doing a virtual office hour as well, you could have that kind of information there. It's nice to have a photo on your homepage. Again, depending on the modality, these students may have never seen you before. They may have never talked to you before. And so just having a picture there of the instructor lets them know that, hey, this is a normal person that I'm interacting with. It's not a faceless organization. It's not like taking a course through Udemy or Lynda or something like that. This is an actual person that's teaching me, and I get to see them. So that's always nice for them to be able to see the instructor there.
Sure. And of course the needs are going to change, whether it's for an online class or a hybrid class or a face-to-face class. Face-to-face class, maybe your homepage is just a direct link to your modules and your course resources. For a hybrid class, maybe you don't need, your meet the instructor component that you would on
because
an
they
online
received
class.
all that on the first day of class when they did meet you.
They have met the instructor.
So again, it's important to really think about, from the student perspective, what are the needs? Are they getting that information from you in a face-to-face environment? Then they don't necessarily need all that information on the homepage. It certainly wouldn't hurt to have it there, but it's not a need anymore. So then the homepage kind of plays a different role. So let's think then about more specifically that face-to-face class or hybrid model where the students have come to class maybe a couple times already. They've already met the instructor, they've gotten the syllabus, they understand the format of the course. What's then the primary role of the homepage in that kind of class?
You're asking me.
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Basically, it's going to be a place for resources, and it's going to be a place to keep them on track with their current coursework, depending on how you organize your class. If it's flipped model, it may be a little different, but you're going to want to have a quick access to their resources or quick access to the information that they need. You won't need all the other information. You may not need the syllabus there.
Yeah, so it's mostly a starting point. It's a branching point.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things I'd like to call attention to on our template, and this is something specific to community colleges of Spokane, is this idea of really where to get started. And especially if you're doing an completely online course, they shouldn't have to kind of try to figure out where to go or where to get started. In design, we had this idea of, if the student has to stop, if the user has to stop and ask themselves questions, if they have to stop to try to figure out your page, then that's where the design is breaking down there. So one of the things that we have specifically is with students on these campuses, this idea of initiating attendance. There's always something that they have to do that solidifies them as an active student in the course for purposes of financial aid and those kind of things. So it's a good idea to have somewhere in your homepage, and we have this sentence here just below our bulleted list, but before our starting button, kind of giving them that information. You need to complete the launching pad in the template we have the specific day, the third day of the course, to avoid being dropped. It's always a good idea to be very specific and straightforward about what it is that they need to complete by when to solidify their attendance and not be dropped from the course.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that you want to have right there at the top of the homepage.
And then just provided the link right there for them to get started. So they
We
can
have a
get
green
started
button.
right away.
You could provide a text link or a graphic button. If you don't know how to make the Canvas buttons, that's fine. But just having it front and center, here's the instructions, here's the format of the course, and here's where to get started, even if it's in your modules. And I know that's one of the things that took me a while in the idea of course design, that idea that being redundant is okay.
Yeah.
It's okay that it's in modules, and it's in the syllabus, and it's in somewhere else, and we have it right up front as well. Again, it's that idea of removing barriers or removing hurdles for the student to getting to the course content, because that's what you want them to do. You want them to get to the course content and to start learning what they're there to learn.
Okay, should we kind of introduce what their goal is for the next assessment?
Yeah, so let's talk about this first assignment.
Perfect. So what we want you guys to do is we're going to have you look at two different types of course homepages. And we've provided them, and we'll walk you through what we're going to do as well. But we want you to look at some example homepages and then kind of think about what modality you believe that this homepage would be best suited for, and then use our course design checklist and give some advice on how you would change this or make this a better homepage and fill in some of the missing information.
And then just to be specific, when we use the word modality, we're talking about whether it's 100% completely online, whether it's a hybrid course, which means it's more than 50% on ground, but there's also an online component which takes away seat time from the on-ground course. So it's mostly on ground, but some of the work is being done online in replacing some of that in-class time. And then if it's what we call web-enhanced class, where it's an on-ground class, but you're just using Canvas maybe to deliver some documents or to provide a place for videos, or you're using Canvas in some way to enhance what you're doing in your on-ground class. So those are the three modalities that we're talking about when we use that term. 100% online, hybrid, which is kind of half and half, or it's an on-ground course, but you're using Canvas to supplement.
Okay, so let's look at an example. So here's a math homepage, and it says, welcome to blah blah's math class. Below you'll find buttons that will link you to different modules for our class. So
first question is, which modality would this homepage be most appropriate for?
My initial gut reaction, of course, would be face-to-face, because this is a repository for resources.
Yeah.
And for the modules of the course.
Yeah, so you could easily, again, we have some of the key information. We have identification, so they know what course they're in.
They're in the right course.
To this person's course. You know you're in the right place. Below you'll find the buttons to get to the different modules. So if you know that you're looking for resources for unit number 2, you just click on the number 2.
Exactly.
Okay. Yep, so this is perfect for an on-ground course where they're just putting additional resources in Canvas. There's no hurdles here, right? They know exactly where to go.
Perfect. Let's look at another one. So this is for a literature class, and it's immediately identified. We know it's HAL Literature. And there is a description of the course, what students are doing. We have instructor contact information, and even preference. I'm most easily reached by email. And then on the right-hand side, we have important links and resources, direct links to syllabus, modules, any other resources. We have information about the instructor, so they're introducing themselves. And then that's about it. So what do you think would be the correct modality, or?
I think this is a pretty good starting point for a homepage for a completely online class. It gives information about the class. It gives a little bit of some of the goals of the class. I'd like to see maybe some more of the course outcomes there. But it does say we're working on becoming active, involved readers, so students will comprehend at a deeper level. So it's giving some of that. Talking about participating in literature discussions. It's got all the contact information for the teacher. And like you said, the policy for email policy is there, links to resources about the teacher. So this is good information that a student would need if this was all they were getting, if they hadn't met this teacher before.
If you had to make one change to this, what would be your red flag for this class, or what would be something that you would want to put right away for this course? One thing that I'm noticing obviously wouldn't be in a template, but maybe a graphic
that with a picture of the instructor or a welcome video, so that it, again, makes it a little bit more personal. Online learning is already kind of very detached, so the more personal we can make online learning, the better, and a welcome video or at least a photo would help with that. Maybe let's look back at the checklist and see what we can compare.
Yep.
So we had a link to the syllabus, we had instructor contact information, technology requirements could be linked over in those resources. So as far as our checklist here, I think the main thing that's missing from that page is how to get started.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Once you've kind of met the teacher and you understand what the course is about, now what? What do I do? And that's a piece of feedback we get from students and faculty all the time is students are always asking, what do I do? I don't know what to do next. So maybe that's in the course calendar, maybe that's in the syllabus, but instead of making students dig for that information, let's just have a section that says get started, or how to get started, or what to do first, or something like that.
So you're right. Let's get started. So how do the instructors in our faculty development class get started with their next assignment?
Good question. So for your next assignment, you're going to do what we just have done here. You're going to take a look at a couple of samples that we've pulled down from Canvas Commons, and we've linked them into the modules. Do we have the modules up on a tab here?
No.
Okay.
We don't.
Okay. But if you look into the modules for this course, you'll see that there's a section that says homepage samples, and there are 4 different homepage samples that are available to you. What you're going to do is you're going to pick 2 of those homepage samples, and you're going to evaluate them using the checklist that we've provided. And just like we've done here, you're going to take a look and you're going to identify what is the modality that you think that homepage would be best suitable for. Again, when we talk about modality, we're talking about 100% online, we're talking about hybrid, which is split, and we're talking about on-ground courses that are being supplemented by online resources. So which modality would that template be most appropriate for? And then what components still need to be added, or what items could be upgraded or improved given that modality and that homepage. And this is just a way for you to kind of practice these skills, because later on you're going to be applying this same kind of technique to your own course homepage as well. So right now we're going to start by looking at some templates. Again, you're going to pick 2 from the 4 that we've provided, and you're going to identify what the modality is, what kind of improvements need to be made.
We look forward to your submissions. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks.
Bye.